Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I'm a bit sick right now, so the voice is definitely going to be slightly different. But we will get right into the thing. We're going to talk about the rank season sprint, the new one that's coming. I think you can still find it somewhere in the news, in the game, or on the official World of Warships page. Here it is. It is going to be 5 versus 5, and it's going to be in a tier 6. So that's the difference between this one and the last one. It was 6 versus 6 and 8 versus 8, and it was in tier 5, I believe. This time it's going to be 5v5 first season and second season in 7v7 in the tier 6. Now, we already played one regular ranked tier 6, long time ago. But I will give you a general idea. You can still division with one player. One carrier is allowed per team. These are the maps. Nothing new, really. These are all the maps that have been played long before. The rules haven't really changed, not that I know of. You can still find all this information. I will try to keep this video as brief as possible because I want to go through the best ship picks, and the longer the game goes, more ships there are. Eventually this video is going to run for like 2 hours and we're not going to cover everything, so I'm going to be as brief as possible. Slight difference that I've also noticed in these two upcoming seasons from the previous two is rewards. It still starts with 500,000 credits, but if I recall correctly, it was +3 and +5 throughout all ranks before. And now it's +5, then for some reason +3 here, and then 5, 5, 7, 7. These two are still the same, and then it's 10,000 coal, and I think it used to be 5,000 coal. So they somewhat increased the prizes, but honestly, if you are into this for the prizes, yeah, you're missing the fun. This is really fun mode, and the smaller it gets, the more fun it gets for me. Because it differentiates you from the regular rank that you can play every day, and each ship counts more. 10,000 coal is nice, but it's really nothing special, and most of these flags that you win here, you're gonna probably spend throughout playing to even reach rank 1. I think it takes you like 14 consecutive wins to get from rank 10 to rank 1, because it's not like a regular season. You start at rank 10, and you get to rank 1, and if they haven't changed that, every time you progress to a new rank, you immediately get a new star, so it's a lot smaller than it looks. I wish you all good luck there. Now let's go quickly through the ship picks. When it comes to carriers, I mean, the choices are quite simple. It's, well, actually, let's do it in the tech tree, so you can have a better overview. When it comes to tier 6, it's either going to be Ryujo or it's going to be Independence. My guess is a lot of people will go for Ryujo, pure and simple because of more options and more control in either way. So if you do go for Ryujo, you can expect 2 things. 1, well, actually 3 if people go with a stock one, but that will just be kind of 1 fighter, 1 torpedo bomber, and 2 dive bombers. But these are the 2 that you will most likely be encountering. 1 is 3 fighters, 1 torpedo plane, and 1 dive bomber plane squadron. This is heavy air control and really easy to control in the air with 3 squadrons, especially if you have air supremacy as well. But you will be very limited on the strike power. Only 1 torpedo plane squadron and only 1 dive bomber squadron. I played yesterday a rank battle, sorry, not the rank battle, the random battle, and I struggled to do any damage. I think I ended up with like less than 20,000 damage. But it was a tier 7 game, there were 2 carriers per team, but not to mention that I got 80 plane kills with Ryujo, tier 6, 80. So air control is really not going to be the problem, and of course randoms are 12v12, this is 5v5 and 7v7, so there's going to be a lot less opponents. There's not going to be any tier 7s, there's going to be tier 6 all around. Ships usually don't have that great of an AA, especially now considering Cleveland is no longer tier 6, but it's tier 8, so no more Cleveland for the carriers. But, you know, you'll have to be very, very careful and very patient with your torpedo and dive bomber squadrons, so you can actually, at the mid-late game, be able to snatch a kill, finish someone up, and keep the scouting. You can, of course, go for the strike capability and go 1-2-2, but that gives you only one fighter with only a couple of fighters in reserve. You will run out of those planes extremely fast. Like, extremely fast. You will find yourself most of the game just trying to run away from enemy fighters. Especially if it's going to be fighter Ryujo. I don't think you're going to be able to do anything, honestly. It's going to come down to him shutting you down, and he should have no problem in doing that. So, a lot of strike potential here. You can easily deal with just about anything, especially considering it's only 5v5 at the beginning, this first season. And some of those are going to be destroyers, and you're going to have no problem killing anyone. But the enemy carrier might shut you down, unless you, of course, run into each other, same strike setup. So then, okay, it's not going to be that bad, because one fighter, how much can he do? Ryujo would be my choice if you go for the carriers. And have fun. I might even try it myself. So much for the carriers. When we go to the... Well, let's just do it in tech tree. If we go to the battleships, I've said this in pretty much every season so far, and I'm sticking to it. Pick the battleship that suits you best. Like the battleship which you have some experience in, and you think you can do the best, and you have some knowledge of how the ship behaves, what you can expect out of it, how you can deal with it, just pick it. Fuso is probably one of the best choices, because he's got 12 guns, and in the rank season, the normal rank when he was tier 6, that was a lot of Fusos, and people were saying like, yeah, it's definitely dominating. Of course, you can go for New Mexico. It's also got 12 guns. You can go... Okay, USSR is still not in the game. You can go for Bayern. Large caliber guns, 8 of them. Accuracy is kind of... armor's better. Relatively small battleship. You can, of course, go for Queen Elizabeth or the Warspite. Nasty guns, burns like crisp. Not extremely fast, I believe. Then you can go for Normandy if you want 12 guns again. In a French way. And I think we don't have any battleships anymore. So, and a Dunkirk, of course. You can just bow in. But questionable accuracy. Very good in speed and stuff. It's really... Whatever battleship suits you fine. If you think you're capable enough in it, just go for it. It really doesn't matter. Because I can tell you, go for Fuso, but you're kicking ass in Dunkirk and sucking in Fuso, you're going to be useless to your team, honestly. Just take what suits you best. When it comes to cruisers, especially in these lower tiers, it's usually they're just kicking tin cans or meat loves or just meat bags. Cannon fodder, usually. They are a threat that you want to eliminate as soon as possible, and they can be eliminated really, really fast and easy. Of course, there are a couple of exceptions in this tier which make it even a bit more spicier. We'll get to those a bit later. You can go for a Oba. I mean, I used to love Oba when I was grinding, but that was long time ago. The choices are Pensacola. Now that she's no longer tier 7, you can pick a Pensacola and a tier 6. It's got 10... I think it's got 10... 203mm guns. But it's still a Pensacola. It's still gonna explode very easily. And the reload and turret traverse is really dreadful. So that's up to you. But the guns... Yeah. You can go for Dallas, which is a light version. Light cruiser. I think it's a pretty fun ship. But very light, so... All the cruisers are going to be very, very easily killable. Of course, you can go for Molotov or Budioni. Extremely accurate guns, long range fire, fast. Relatively maneuverable, I believe, but squishy as hell. You can go for the good old Nuremberg, if you can make people chase you. Or you can go for Graf Spee, which is kind of a mix between a battleship and a cruiser. With a very, very, very powerful, I think 5.5 kilometer hydro. The best Kriegsmarine torpedoes in the game. I think it's the only one with those torpedoes. Everything else has 6. These have, I think, 8 or 9. Angles are extremely good on those torpedoes. You can fire them pretty much from any angle. So definitely going to be something to look out for. Especially considering it's going to be only 5v5. And if all the cruiser slots are populated with Graf Spee, you're basically fighting a lot of battleships, armed with hydros and torps. This is something to be looking out for, in my opinion. if you have no idea what you're going in for, be very, very careful how you approach craft space, especially as a DD. Of course, you could go for Leander, or what we can't see here because it's in Commonwealth, I believe, the Perth. Smokescreen light cruisers with, armed with hydros and torpedoes, and of course their own smokescreens. The difference is Perth can move in the smokescreen because smoke moves with him. Or you can go for Leander, which is like stationary smokescreen, but I think it lasts a bit longer. Of course, what are you going to do to battleships with AP shells only is up to you. That's going to be a bit of a pickle. And in between, the downtime between the smoke screens might be a bit of a problem for you. But it's only 5v5, and a lot of these maps are really oriented around islands. So, might be a good choice. And the Hydra still sees through the land, so yeah. You can go for, once again, the Grass or La Galactionnaire to stay at max range and shoot with these HE spammers. But in 5 versus 5, I think the best option would be something that's going to be close to the front. This is, of course, 20th of December, and the rank sprint started today. I haven't played a single game yet. I will do as soon as I'm done with this. But telling you, like, straight off right now, from the experience that I have and, like, a prediction, I would take something that can actually stick with the team. It's only 5 of you. And I believe... Oh, yeah, you can go for Duca. Yeah, I mean, I love tier 7 one, tier 6 one. I don't know. Just those torpedoes and guns can be a bit trolly for the enemy, but they're not very powerful. The reason why I like tier 7, even though they're really, really similar, is this one's got a heal, so you can sustain a lot more. And yeah, that's about it when it comes to that. Now to the most... well, the real reason why you're probably here, and that's destroyers. I'm going to try not to spend too much time talking about them as well. We're just going to go quickly over all of them, but I'm going to keep it as brief as possible. Like, my suggestion would be judging, like, this is all that's available, like, at least all that I got, and I think I bought all tech tree lines. And I think I got all of them from the premium. So that's what, 4, 8, 12, 13, I think. Maybe I'm missing someone. If I am, whatever. But I got 13 tier 6 destroyers here. And my choice, without playing a single game yet, would be this little guy. T61. I think it's going to be the best choice because, first, it's got a lot of HP. I think it's got the most amount of HP. The only one that goes over it is Eagle. Let's not comment the camo. But this thing, concealment 6.8 and concealment of T61 6.1. I will keep you spotted for my team, and you will lose all that HP long before you spot me. So you having more HP than me, I don't think Eagle is going to be that great of a choice, especially if it comes to really just a low amount of DD games. When it comes to a large amount of DD games, having a DD that has someone to scout for him with, I think, 5 guns, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So, it might be a good choice, but I wouldn't count on it, honestly. Everybody's going to be able to outspot you. So, my suggestion would be T61 if you have it. This is just a good destroyer. 6.1... Sorry, we go here. 6.1 detection, which is what majority of the DDs will have. Either this or higher than this. So you are going to be in a good spot with 6.1. Survivability-wise, it's the best one after Eagle, I believe, when it comes to how much HP it has, or very close. Artillery... It's 128 guns, only 4-second reload. Turret traverse is not the greatest, but it's not bad. I've tried it, it's not bad. Chance of fire is okay. Damage is okay. Shell speed is even better than like US ones. It's okay. Range is awesome. I think this is going to be a good all-around DD. Now, you're not going to excel in any of the fields besides HP pool if we just take Eagle out. But you're going to be good all around, which is why I think is going to be the best choice. Because if used properly, in every situation, you're going to be useful. If we take a look at its torpedoes, it's got 2 times 4, so 8 torps, 65 knots. That is incredibly fast. 8-kilometer range. It's not bad. 13.7 thousand damage, which is okay. Fast turning torpedo tubes, which is good, and only 68-second reload. I think I have. Let me check the captain. I do believe that I have the torpedo reload. No, I don't. Okay, so you can increase it even further. This is the captain, by the way. I took expert loader because you may be. Honestly, I don't know why I took expert loader. This is the older captain. I would go for preventive maintenance. You can go for this if you expect to quickly switch between HE and AP, but it's 4-second reload, so I actually wouldn't advise this. I was probably testing something. So just preventive maintenance or priority target if you're afraid of people aiming at you. Last stand is a must. Expert marksman, something very useful for this destroyer because of the slower turret traverse. More HP, more consumables because you got a hydro. RPF and concealment, absolute must. It's only 5v5. You want to know where your closest enemy is. And this is going to go for majority of the DDs, honestly. Like the first 10-point captain is going to be preventive maintenance, last stand, survivability expert, concealment expert. And then you go RPF, and then really depends on your consumables. Do you go for superintendent, or are you going to go for torpedo reload? Or maybe even demo expert if you're like, I don't know, Eagle. And then adrenaline rush, or if your DD is really sluggish when it comes to turret traverse, you want to chug this expert marksman as fast as possible in there, probably even before RPF, but that depends on how many points of captain you have. So a couple of things is going to variate, but that's up to you. You know, which destroyer you're going to pick. I can't just go over all 13 of them. This video is going to last way too long. So T-61, best all-around destroyer in my opinion. The best scout is going to be the Hatsu. This thing has 6 torpedoes and 4 guns. So it doesn't really excel in the amount of torps or the guns, or the turret traverse, or the range. Or, you know, pretty much it's going to be a bit of a in comparison to a lot of other destroyers. But the range is 10 kilometers. They are IGN torpedoes, they hurt like hell, and they are so-so in speed. But why this is going to be a great choice is going to be 5.8 concealment. I don't think anything has 5.8. Everything is around 6.1, up to like 6.3, 6.6, 6.8, stuff like that. So if you want to be the stealthiest on the field, and you're going to depend on the support from your team. This is aligned kind of nicely. While still having the ability to be useful, it's going to be a good choice. These were the ones that I hated the most to encounter last season, because I was playing the Farragut, which has like 6.6 concealment, but it's very nasty when it comes to guns. So someone having 800 meters better detection than you was a serious problem. You can go for the other IGN line, which is Fubuki. Also has only 4 guns, but it's got 9 torpedoes, which also get, sorry, not artillery, torpedoes. They also get 10 km range and 59 knots. So it's basically a boosted Hatsu, because it's got the same amount of guns and more torps, but you're no longer alpha and omega when it comes to scouting. You are 6.1. T-61 has 6.1. So if you want more torpedo firepower at a cost of your concealment, then go for this. You can go, of course, for Shinonome, which has, it's like completely boosted. It's got 9 torpedoes and 6 guns with a detection of 6.1. But where you pay is your AA is like a pistol, although AA won't be useful pretty much on any destroyer, to be honest. But if you get spotted by planes, if there's a carrier, you can forget about shooting them down. Not to mention that the range is like 1.2. Yeah, so they need to be right above you. Where the problem sticks is the torpedoes. They are 8-kilometer range, 63 knots. So it's not 10 km, but you get 9 of them. But that's fine. I think 8 km is more than okay. And these 6 guns really hurt especially after the HE buff on the IGNDDs. They really hurt. The problem is slow turret traverse and 9-second reload. T-61 has 4. And some other destroyers also have 4. This has 9. You better be landing those volleys, and you better be doing like 3,000-4,000 damage per volley every 9 seconds, or it's not going to pay off. So, on paper, it's awesome. In practice, it might be a bit clunky. So, bear in mind for that. But it's a good choice. All IGNDDs are good choices, although I would give a benefit, I would give the advantage to gunboats. Because it's only 5v5 and every ship is going to have to be independent, in my opinion. You will need to be able to take care of yourself without support. So bear that in mind. Farragut is like probably the best gunboat you can go for, next to Eagle. But its detection is kind of putting him behind, really much behind. He's got 5 guns, 8 torps. Torpedoes are not that bad. 64 knots is really fast, 6.4 km. You can use it. You're not going to be able to chase anyone with it. But you want them to come to you. So they're pretty good torpedoes. The reload, not the greatest. But you're not a towboat, you're a gunboat with very solid torpedoes. The problem is its HP is a bit of a downside, 13.6. And if we go to the captain, it does have survivability expert. So 13.6 for a gunboat is not much, and its concealment is going to be the worst. Eagle is 6.8, this is 6.6. So these two are going to struggle because of this. You are not going to be a very good scout, which I thought I'm going to go for the Farragut again, but now there's so much more options that I think I might actually not force a Farragut. You can also have its weird brother Monahan, which has a couple of things different about it. First, it's got more HP. It's very good looking when it comes to HP, so that's a plus. It only has 4 guns and extremely long range, which can work in your favor or against you when it comes to detectability when you fire. So, Farragut is still gonna kill this one. You get less HP with the Farragut, but 1 extra gun. So it's kind of balanced. Depends what you want out of it. Torpedoes the same. And you got some AA defense. So if there's a carrier, Monahan is going to be probably one of the best choices. Maneuverability wise, just a bit lousier rudder shift. And concealment is 300 meters better. So what you get basically is 1 less gun for more HP and 300 meters better detection. More HP, better detection, 1 less gun. It's not a bad trade. And between 6.1 and 6.3, it's only 200 meters. It's not that bad. Might be a pretty good pick. But, again, only 4 guns. Or you can go the crazier route, which I would not advise, and take B-hull, which drops your guns to only 2. You're going to have only 2 guns, but you will have Benson torps. 9.2 kilometer, 55 knots. Very slow, good damage, shit reload, very good range, and you also get a torpedo reload booster. So you get to fire like 10 of these. The reload booster is, sorry, not 10, 8 and then 8 again. That's like 16. The reload booster is not really like IGN. You can't just fire torpedoes, activate it, and then 5 seconds later fire 8 more. It's like 30 seconds. So there will be a downtime in between your torps, and you are absolute shit when it comes to guns. You're gonna have only 2. So I don't know. I wouldn't really go for that. Couple of interesting choices also might be Anshan and Gallant. Also 4 guns with 6 torpedoes that have, I think, 8 kilometer range and 60 knots. Pretty solid. The guns are 130 mils, like Russian. 12 kilometer range. When it comes to HP, top of the food chain. It has some AA, but maneuverability is, they're pretty fast. And concealment is as well 6.3. So, I mean, it's going to be an okay choice. You can go for Gallant, which has 6 kilometer detection. Now, I tried one game in this destroyer yesterday. I did like 120,000 damage. And I was having fun. It's not a bad destroyer, but I don't think that would happen all the time, honestly. Artillery-wise, it's 120 mils, so it's a bit lower caliber, with good fire chance. Where's the damage? Oh, 1721. Yeah, the damage is okay. The reload time is a second higher than main gunboat destroyers. It's not 4 seconds, it's 5 seconds. You will do probably slightly less damage because of the lower caliber, and the turret traverse is still kind of But it's not a bad DD. It's not. The shell velocity, though, pretty slow. When we go to check out, of course, HP, not the greatest. Concealment is pretty damn good. AA is crap. Maneuverability is very good. But if you go to Torps, 8 km, 61 knots. It's got solid Torps, very solid Torps with... Didn't check the damage, though. Yeah, very solid torpedoes with a bit of a downside on the guns because you only get 4 and they have 5-second reload and lower caliber with the slower turret traverse. But hey, most of the enemies you will see first, so you get the first volley off, so that gives you a bit of an advantage. It's an okay DD. Then you can go with some interesting picks if you like to put yourself a challenge. You can go for Fushun, deep water torps, but torpedoes hurt like hell. Like 16.7k, 62 knots, 6.4 km range, concealment 6.1, which is good. Maneuverability is kind of, well, they're fast. And it's 430 mil guns, which means shit turret traverse and 5-second reload, only 4 guns. I wouldn't exactly advise it. You can go for Gede, but what do you really gain from this? It's 128 mil guns, 5.1 second reload, so it's not even 5. Gede gets 18.6 thousand HP. Okay, I knew there was one destroyer that I missed. So this destroyer will have a lot of HP. Yeah, it's Eagle, then Gede, then T-61. Okay. Its detection is 6.6. Yeah, so crap detection. You only have 4 guns, which reload a bit more than your counterparts. Torpedoes are good, 65 knots, 8 km. You get 8 of them. Do you? Yes. So I don't know, its detection is kind of crap, and its reload is kind of crap, and its turret traverse is kind of crap, but it's got that HP. And you got a Hydro, of course, we cannot forget about Hydro, but it's a good Hydro. But you're such a huge destroyer, so I'm not really sure that it's going to be the best pick. But if you can get to use the islands and stuff, it might be pretty good. Or to work as a sort of a support. But T-61, we might forgot to mention, also gets the same Hydro. And its detection is 6.1. Also, with 8 km 65 knot torpedoes. And its guns, its HP is like 2k lower, but its guns turn faster and they fire a lot faster, 1.1 second per volley with same amount of guns, so it's just a better ship. There's Icarus left. I mean, this pretty much reminds me of, what is it, the Gallant, but you get 10 torps. It's yeah, 120 mil guns, 5-second reload. Okay-ish turret traverse, could be better. Good range. But you get 10 torps, only 7 km range with 59 knots. So that's a bit of a difference. You get more torps, shorter range, and slower concealment, 6 km. So a bit of a different niche than Gallant. Did we mention Gnevny? think we did. I'm not sure. A good amount of HP, good guns, good range, 5-second reload, only 4 of them, shit turret traverse, and you get 6 torps, which are 4 km only, super fast. So unless you're gonna YOLO someone, you have very little chance of torping. I don't know, I wouldn't really advise to go for it. And I think we actually went through all of them, yeah. So my top pick without playing it would be T61. Because it's got just very good amount of everything. If you want to go for top scout, you go for Hatsu because of that 5.8. If you want to go full torpedoes, you can go Fubu or Shinonome. If you want to go something in between, you will play between T61, Gallant, Monahan maybe, Anshan. I mean, whatever grinds your gears, whatever floats your boats, it's fine, but I would suggest that you try to go for DDs that have the least amount of concealment while still retaining a solid amount of firepower. Like Shinonome maybe? But it's going to be difficult to play this destroyer properly. This thing is loaded with torps and guns, but slow reload on the guns, and slow turret traverse. Solid concealment. So yeah, that's it. I hope that was helpful. We'll see you later today. I will be streaming very, very soon from the moment I publish this video, of course. So I will catch you on the high seas. Wish you all good luck, and I hope this video was helpful.